Hello everyone, it's me Doomlink and welcome back to Generations Ultimate, I guess. I haven't really established who I'm going to be hunting with today, but it'll likely be, you know, the typical people you'll see. I saw that you were coming online, Vernon, good to see you. I just sort of woke up, so sorry if I don't sound incredibly engaging or, you know, incredibly engaged myself. It's also cold. And we all become just a little bit more, well, dormant, I suppose, when it is cold. But yeah, I may very well have been standing right here when I finished my last recording, I don't know, but, yeah, haven't played Generations Ultimate in a number of days now, so, yeah, it's good to be back, I suppose. I'm just going to check to see what's happening with Hunsterverse, because, you know, I haven't checked for a while, so just make sure that I'm... No. Not showing up as live. Great. What the fuck is with this bot? Seriously. I'll keep an eye on it. It may very well fix itself. You know, I'm not going to start contacting people about it unless it's been a fair while. Maybe not a fair while. A fair while in streaming terms would be like an hour. I'm not going to wait an hour, I'll probably wait like 10 minutes. But usually it's instantaneous, so I don't know what the fuck the problem is, but anyway. What issue have you run into, Vernon, with stream? It is a rather volatile thing, so generally you will come across issues from time to time. Yes, I am connecting to the online as we speak. Are you kidding me? We're doing this crap. So what's annoying about this is that when I last renewed my Nintendo Online, it actually gave me an option to do the trial again. Now, it should have auto-renewed this crap. It should have automatically renewed the online instead of forcing me to manually. Well, maybe that's better practice, isn't it? If I do the trial, then instead of automatically renewing it, they make you do it manually. So what I'll do here, if you'll forgive me the time to do this is the sort of thing that you do before you go live, obviously, but I'm just gonna blank that out while I go and get Nintendo Online again. Of course, the fact that you have to... I don't like Nintendo Online, I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I got this game, and probably for the first 6 months of playing the game, there was no need to have Nintendo Online to play it. The thing with Nintendo Online is that they try to sell it by saying, well, you get cloud storage with Nintendo Online, which is okay, but in my opinion, that should be standard. What I don't like is the normalization of paying for playing online games. That was, of course, started by Microsoft on the basis that or for the reason that they are so incredibly fucking greedy. So, yeah. Hopefully I get the password right, because I was talking while inputting it. Yes. So yeah, that's why I ensure that these things are not on camera, because I'm putting in passwords on an on-screen keyboard, so obviously, ideally, I would not be doing that on camera. Okay, yes. I ran out of space to save my videos and waiting for my 2TB external hard drive to arrive so I can stream some more. Right, so it's not really an issue with streaming at all, it's an issue with your personal storage, which has prevented you from streaming because you can't archive your own stuff, which makes sense. But I was imagining something else going wrong. But yeah, I now have Nintendo Online, and I apologize for that hiccup. Again, I don't like the fact that you have to pay for online, and for me personally, the fact that you have cloud storage does not make it worth it. Admittedly, it's not expensive. Compared to things like Xbox Gold, I've got no idea if they still market it under that name, but Xbox Gold was a fucking ripoff. You know, of course, I mostly played on the PS3, which didn't have a payment system for online. PlayStation Plus instead gave you, like, specific games for free or at discount prices. I can't really remember what the... that was probably the main reason why people got PlayStation Plus. It was for the games that it included. But yeah, it wasn't until the PlayStation 4 that PlayStation Plus was actually required to play online. And what's stupid is that they only did it because they knew people would do it. They knew people would pay for it. They knew people wouldn't kick up a stink. It's just part of the normalization of it. If Microsoft is making all this money, then why don't we, says Sony. And I hate that. And even Nintendo were like, oh, look, we're not going to charge what those guys charge because we generally have a younger demographic, but we're going to charge some money anyway. And they pretend like you're buying some sort of, I don't know, convenience along with it, which is, of course, in the form of cloud storage. Now, cloud storage is so important with Nintendo because they've never really been too supportive with save migration and, you know, just keeping your saves in general. It's never been supported, to my understanding, for you to take a save from your system and then, you know, put it on an external device or something like that. I'm sure there are reasons why, but it comes down to the fact that Nintendo is ultimately very, very primitive in their way of thinking. But eventually they caught up, but in my opinion, cloud storage is just standard. You know, I'm a PC player nowadays, and you don't have to pay for online. Games have cloud storage. So why is it that for a console experience that is already inferior, by the way, I mean, the console experience will always be inferior to the PC experience, why is it that on top of that, I have to spend more money? I mean, it's incredible. It's basically the ultimate in wasting money by the looks of it, but anyway. I don't understand it personally, and maybe I haven't looked into it enough to really comment in detail, but what I can say is that as an end user, I find it to be completely fucking stupid. But here I am paying for Nintendo Online so I can play this game, so I'd better just swallow my words and start playing. Kezu. No. I think I'd rather not. What's happening with Malufa? I think that was his name, Malufa. There is no such thing as the Stone of Defilement unless they... you're thinking of the Valley of Defilement. It's Archstone of the Chieftain with the Valley of Defilement contained within. But anyway. Go away, HP support assistant. On my crappy laptop that would be better off being thrown into a fire. Bravado. Again with a glitched out room, because you can see this guy. Excuse me, he's a glitched out user. I personally think this is an issue with the search function. I've talked about it before. I don't think it has to do with his connection to the game. I think it's just the search function being complete shit. I don't like this search function at all. But yeah, unfortunately, oh, not Dread King EX, I'd rather not. All G4 Quest. Sure. That sounds kind of fun. Obviously, if anyone takes the 4th slot, I'll have to leave. Alright. So what's our first one? This person's called themselves Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean. But, yeah, good on him. Good old 90s references, I guess. That's right. I do have this set up already. And I've also made it so that the sound is not quite so invasive. Because before it was just too loud, wasn't it? I've now made it so that you can hear it, but that it doesn't dominate your ears. So, yeah, that's the situation with that. What even was selected was longsword, wasn't it? Yeah. I was too busy talking to really comprehend what I was looking at. Okay, so longsword is going to be this set here. And we'll go Thunder Longsword, my favourite Oppressor's Law. I'm not going to talk about the fact that I don't like the Zenoga weapon designs because I do it every single time I equip a Zenoga weapon, and it's getting old. It's getting very, very old and tired. Alright. I suppose I should be looking for Exchanger as I normally would. And I will, I think, just before departing, check to see what's happening with Hunsterverse. We'll see if I'm up again. And if I'm not, then I'll let Eclipse know. Here we go, we've got Exchanger. I will have a gourmet voucher for that because there are 3 skills, which means that there would be a fair chance that I wouldn't get Exchanger there. I think Exchanger is the hardest skill to get of those 3. And I may as well go and buy some beverages. Okay, cool drink. Oh, it was just cool drinks that I needed? Okay. There's something else that I was lacking. Mega Dash Juice, that's what it was. Well, we can stick with 4, that's quite fine. Mr. Bean. Okay. What's happening on Hunsterverse? Still nothing. Well, I will just be one moment while I try to fix this, because I'm not like I'm going to be the one fixing it, but I'll ping Eclipse. I think he should still be awake. He seems to go to sleep fairly early, honestly, but maybe he's a person with a normal sleep schedule, which is a bit odd, isn't it? But the bot's not picking me up again. Annoying, but yeah. I don't know why it's unreliable, but it is. Very much so. Is it worth? No, it's not worth gathering or mining here. I don't really need that. Of course, I got Explorer because it was included in the list of skills that I had eaten. Not eaten. Used a gourmet voucher for. I have this terrible... It's not really a habit. I don't say it all the time, but occasionally I will say, eat a voucher. No, you don't eat the paper. You show it to the fucking chef and he's like, oh, okay. I'll give you better food or something. You don't fucking eat the voucher. What stupidity. What a foolish thing to say. Anyway. Looks like we're going to be mount cheesing in regular G rank level. So, that's always a joy. Isn't it funny that Capcom were concerned by the nature of mounts dominating the online play of 4 and 4 Ultimate, and yet they didn't really fix it for other weapon types, they only did it for Insect Blade. Admittedly, you don't see much mount cheesing anymore, so it doesn't really ruin the online anymore, but still, I mean, you can absolutely take advantage of it to an extreme degree. As Vernon demonstrates every single recording that I do. So, the point being that whatever Capcom really wanted to fix, I don't think was fixed, so. If I had to choose, I would prefer the time when you weren't able to do it. A time when there was less to take advantage of. But it's funny, I would say based on that, again, unsurprisingly, the best and most balanced generation would be 3rd generation. Generation 3, because of course in 1st and 2nd gen there are lots of things that you could take advantage of to completely destroy a monster, and that was in the fact that traps and flash bombs did not lose effectiveness over time. And then of course, by 4th gen you had the incredible verticality and all of that. So mounts could be used. So, between both of those things, you had 3rd gen where diminishing returns were first introduced for traps and flash bombs, and there was no such thing as mounting, so that was really the best time for Monster Hunter balancing-wise. I mean, there were obviously balancing issues outside of that, and I was told that, you know, there will always be balancing issues. Of course there will be. And of course there's always a meta, but there is such a thing as finding the best possible balance, if we assume that it will never be perfectly balanced. You know, it's one thing to aim to balance as best you can, and it's another thing to just throw balancing out the door and completely ruin a series. But anyway, I'm not saying necessarily that verticality ruined the series, but I just don't like the hunters becoming too powerful. I don't like them having too much. I don't like them dominating the monsters too easily. I know you're not using paralysis, but... Anyway. Just feels like a lot of the same every time I'm hunting, you see. There you got a mantle. Not that I needed one. I think that was like... That's probably my 12th or 13th. I think I got 2... Was it Tigrex where I got 2 mantles recently? It might not have been Tigrex, it might have been something else. I'm not sure. I think it was Tigrex though. One thing I've also noticed is that Eclipse is not the easiest person to get in contact with. He's not around all that often, which makes it hard, because, like, you know, I'll probably end up doing this whole stream and I won't be shown in Hunsterverse. You know, I could be live for 3 hours and probably nothing would change. I don't know what I would like, Vernon. I really don't, because I don't want to dictate the way in which you play, but I will tell you that there is a certain degree of monotony present, so I'll leave it in your court as to what you want to do, but... Yeah. Normally it wouldn't affect me, but I do hunt with you basically every time I come online, so... The breaking up of monotony does become necessary with other people if they're always with me, so... Sergio's Scuffle. So yeah, this is mostly going to be non-hyper stuff. He said all quests in G4. He's likely just... He probably hasn't done all the G4 quests himself yet. So he's just... posting everything that he hasn't done. I would imagine there will be hyper quests as well. I'm not really concerned either way. Got gun lance. So I might, well, if it's Sergio's, yeah, let's go elemental gun lance. I'm a bit back and forth as far as one I would rather use, but yeah, I'll go thunder gun lance here, electrolagia, which gives me an end value. They don't show you the original elemental value, do they? There's 27 both in the equipment and in the status. I mean, it's annoying. Oh, whatever. Alright. So... more of that exchanger would certainly be nice. Of course, it will always take me longer to eat than as compared to everyone else because of what I'm looking for. Yeah, it's not looking like I have it today, unless that was it there and I... No. Thought I saw it for just a brief moment. Gunlands versus Sergios is not going to be all that fun, I must say. I'm not really looking forward to that. Oh, there it is! What the fuck? Must be blind. I don't think I need a voucher or a gourmet voucher for this. Yeah. Well, this is not the first time this has happened, where I decide, well, looks like I don't have Exchanger, and then I just go and eat something else, and then I find Exchanger there. I guess I don't look carefully enough. You can see Mr. Bean is certainly eager to get going. Certainly eager. Hey, Arexion, thanks for the subscription. 3-month subscription. Good on you. Arexian's message for his subscription was DINK! Like a screaming DINK comment. Which is the sort of enthusiasm that I would expect. And the sort of enthusiasm that I applaud. Hey, Exia. What was that on my phone? Sort of like a root root. You know what I mean. Oh, right. Mobile Live Dashboard. That's very interesting, because I just got the Mobile Live Dashboard thing. Oh, maybe I can check Monsterverse. No. I was thinking, yeah, that's what's happened. Twitch fucked up. Something really weird happened with Twitch. So, basically, I was talking about how I wasn't showing up as live in the Hunsterverse bot, and Arexian and Exio turn up at the same time, so they likely just got the notification, and I only just now got a thing on my phone saying that I can access my mobile live dashboard for Twitch, which means that the first 20 minutes of this live stream, Twitch probably pretended that I wasn't live, pretty much in every regard. I don't watch the viewer numbers, I don't know if anyone's found the live stream, but Vernon would have checked specifically from the announcement that I made in the Discord, so he was here from the beginning. But yeah, it seems that Twitch was the one that was fucking up here, and I'll let Eclipse know, because I did ping him to tell him that it's not picking me up. Looks like this was on Twitch's end this time. It took 20 minutes for it to, what should I say, recognize that, to properly recognize that I was live. Again, you leave these things in the hands of Twitch, you know, I'm just a guy making videos. I really am, and you just hope that the tools work, but oftentimes the tools don't fucking work. OBS often fucks up, Twitch often fucks up, YouTube is barely functional. So, it's a tough world that we live in as content creators, which is what we're called now, apparently, a very empty, soulless, dead term that people identify as, but I guess I'm a content creator. Hello guys, I'm a content creator. I make content. I mean, what an empty word. Content. Yeah, okay. It's almost like, I mean, it's a different way of saying I make stuff. Yeah, I make stuff. Hey guys, I'm a stuff person. I make stuff. That's what I view it to be. It's just empty and dead. You know, you're not a YouTuber, you're not a Twitch streamer, you're not a well, you wouldn't be called a videographer now, would you? But, well, it depends on what kind of stuff you make. But all I'm saying is that was a term that didn't exist in the past, and now it does exist, and it is the main term that is used, and I think I'd better shut up because none of you care. But, oh dear. I should be staying away from the head. Never complain about being upswung by a hammer guy if you're standing near the head. If you're not standing near the head, it's very different. I've talked about this before. The hammer user has in his in his repertoire the ability to completely destroy his team by doing super pounds on the main body. And I've seen it. I've definitely seen it happen. It is within the hammer user's capabilities to do that. To just completely ruin the hunt for everyone else. But they shouldn't do that, that's the point. Ugh, I don't... well, that word is even more gross, honestly. Yeah, see, I couldn't even see where the hell he was, so I wasn't shielding in the right direction. What a joke. Alright. Well, that was a 20-minute Twitch hiccup, anyway. All I can say is that, well, I don't really know how Twitch notifications work either. YouTube's notification system doesn't fucking work, and Twitch's notification system doesn't work. I don't understand what's so complicated about giving a notification to people who follow you that you're live. Like, what is complicated about that? Why would it be in Twitch's interest to decide for the end user whether they want to watch it or not? Like, what is the fucking metric for that, even? It's some random algorithmic shit that no one wants. No one wants that. No one wants Twitch or YouTube to decide for them what they want to watch and what they don't want to watch. Just put out notifications for people who follow you, and if they don't want the notifications, hey, guess what? There's a really simple solution. It's called unfollowing, and that is something that everyone is capable of doing that uses Twitch. Everyone is capable of doing that. If they don't want notifications, they can unfollow, or they can mute notifications. Maybe give them an option to do that, to specifically mute notifications if they don't have an intention to tune into most streams, but might tune in occasionally. That's fine. I mean, people have a freedom to do that, but they should be given that choice. It shouldn't be left in the hands of Twitch to arbitrarily decide when and when not to give people notifications for live streams. I find that to be completely stupid. It's not in the interest of any streamer. It's not in the interest of the end user. So in whose interest is it for? I don't understand. I'm sure that there is a reason why that's done. I would guarantee there's a reason why. It's not some sort of oversight. It's not an oversight. It's designed to be that way. Why? I could only venture a guess, but I'd rather not talk about it because I don't know much about it. So there is the option to mute notifications, but an issue is that it's off by default, but I don't even think it's off by default. I think that if it's not on, if the mute is off, then that doesn't mean that you're always going to get the notification. I don't think that they actually mute it by default necessarily, because that would suggest that you would never get the notification. I think people do sometimes get notifications, it's just not consistent. That's the issue. That's the stupidity of the situation. Just hit HR 850. But yeah, I don't want to sit here and rant about how shit Twitch and YouTube are, but they're shit. They've always been shit. Seriously, I'm dead serious. They've always been bad. But we have to live with them for the reason that that's all we have. So, yeah. It is all we have. I heard good things about Mixer. Apparently Mixer was good. Now, would I want Microsoft to be making the tool that I use to deliver videos to people? Probably not, because I've had experience, I think everyone's had experience, with Windows. And Windows is a fucking shit show. Who knows what's going to happen with Windows 11? I don't want to know. But the point is that Microsoft are just as guilty with basically destroying everything good about what they've done in the past. So who's to say that it's not going to devolve over time? I mean, of course, Mixer is dead now, apparently. I haven't looked into it, but apparently Mixer was abandoned or something, because it was probably deemed to be unprofitable. Big surprise, but yeah. I mean, Microsoft has a lot of money to throw around, but they can't be running on a loss for too long. If they can project into the future and see that this is going to be a loss for at least guaranteed another few years, they're not going to do it. Why is Mr. Bean... What's Mr. Bean asking for? Is he asking Vernon specifically to use Capture Guru? This is another one of those cases where you just sort of have to wait to see what they're going to type, but... You've been using Round Force 3, Vernon? What the hell? You know what Round Force 3 does, don't you? Oh my god. Round Force 3 sends everyone in the air. It's like the ultimate... Oh, okay, so Round Force 3 is the gigantic no-no of this game. Like, you just don't use Round Force 3. It's terrible. Nobody uses it because everybody knows that it's just the worst thing to use online, because you just ruin everyone's combos. You are just constantly launching people. The effective range of Round Force 3 is incredible, and it actually launches all of your teammates. So yeah, never use Round Force 3. It's a terrible idea. And I'm kind of surprised that everybody knows. You know, everybody just agrees that it shouldn't be used, so they don't. But I never see it. I was just fortunate that I wasn't affected by it, that hunt, which was good. I'd like to use... What is my rapid water, though? I thought he might have been asking for you to use Capture Guru or something for this capture quest. Absolute Deviance, maybe? Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, that's probably right. Well, Round Force 3 has been... I don't know if it was in Generations. It could have been. If it was, then it would have started in Generations, where it was a giant... It was the ultimate faux pas of online play. I mean, basically on par with going pellet. That's pretty much what we're dealing with Round Force 3. It's extremely destructive to the team environment, so... Okay. Go back. I don't want to be dealing too much damage here, because this is a capture quest. Again, we are kind of at risk of killing this thing. What coatings can I use here? Power level 1, element level 2. May as well get a hot drink while I'm here. And while it's half price, the irony of course being that I do not need to be conserving my money at this point. I'm going to buy one hot drink at half price with almost max zenny. Yeah. I'm making good fiscal decisions today. There's no such thing as being out of your generation's ultimate element by not using aerial, because it just plays like normal Monster Hunter. Unless you've become so terribly used to aerial that you wouldn't even be able to go back to older games. But you can, because you play 3 Ultimate with me, so you're not going to be out of your element, I can assure you. Hello, Hossein. You have like 13 uses for longsword in this game. Well, branch out, man. Seriously. I mean, everyone plays in the way that they want, but as far as I'm concerned, you're going to have a whole lot more fun in Monster Hunter if you play with lots of different weapon types. That's why I have a roulette going, that's why I've always played lots of weapon types. I mean, for me personally, the whole point of Monster Hunter is to build lots of different weapon types, and if I'm just turning up to random quests without a goal and always using the same weapon type, I'm going to get so damn bored that I'm just going to stop playing. That's how it is for me. I just can't do it. Because those two things go hand in hand. Having an objective and using different weapon types. If you don't use different weapon types, I feel that your objectives have just decreased by an exponential amount. But if you do use lots of different weapon types, you've got so many more things to work towards. You're right, I will check Vernon, but I've mostly seen light bowgun and sword and shield from you. And by mostly, I mean like basically only that. You tried Lance in Freedom Unite? I don't find Lance to be fun at all in the first 2 generations of Monster Hunter. It's only really viable as an evasion weapon. It is not viable as a guard weapon. Sorry for the early detonate. I just didn't want... Oh god, why would you mount there? He's gonna get thrown off, isn't he? He's in the lava, why is he not being thrown off? Maybe you can mount there. You can see he's glitching though, look at that terrible glitching. Oh my god. See now, I'm surprised he wasn't thrown off immediately. That's very confusing. That's really weird. But anyway. Oh god, I was almost hit there. Whoa! That was a really high jump that he did there. He's looking to be accepted into the Olympics. Or something. But yeah, what I was saying was that I don't find Lance to be very useful as a guarding weapon type in that game, because to guard effectively with the Lance in 1st and 2nd gen is to terribly compromise your DPS, such that you're quite often only taking a single Lance thrust so that you can be ready to guard. 1 or 2 Lance thrusts. If you're doing 3, good luck guarding, seriously. So, guard Lance is just awful. But Evasion Lance, that's really good. Evade Lance in general, in that generation of Monster, extremely effective. It's impressive. So, it depends on how you use it. I'm not a fan of using Lance so much, but because I enjoy Guard Lance from 3rd gen, like as it was in Tri, I was a huge fan of that. So, I just could never truly appreciate old Lance, you know. Hello, Juvenator. Oh dear. I'll be staying in this room, Juvenator, with these guys. So sorry if you don't have space to join, but yeah, this is a room where this guy's doing all. I'm actually going to go for the capture here. It's probably too early. It's probably too early. The reason why I was doing it was because of all the bombing that we were doing. Because if you've got sleep bombing going on, the quest is going to be over and done with much faster. Much faster. So, yeah. I'm a bit worried about this quest. Let's not forget that it's a capture quest. I mean, that happens all the time, especially when you're playing a game like this, where capture quests are few and far between. People do forget that it's even a capture quest, and I'm trying to get us to not forget. I will put down another pitfall. Keeping in mind, of course, that it is just a regular G-rank monster, I don't think that... Jesus. I guess I'm fucking overestimating the damage of the team. This is going to be... No, he's not limping, is he? He couldn't be. No, he's not. What the fuck is this? What's going on? Well, whatever. I'm not sure what the pinging was about, but whatever. Well, that works, Juvenator. And it's good of you to take a break, because you've been playing too much. He always climbs that. But he didn't climb it today. Well, he was going to, but we all came down at the same time, basically. Ready to capture, ready to capture! Oh, they're freaking out. Well, I certainly wasn't off the mark with my capture attempts, but yeah, it's really fucking dangerous. I didn't realize that one of those people had Capture Guru. Didn't know. But turns out one of them does. Hello, Zombie Virus. Did I say hello to A-Gaming? I meant to, if I didn't. Sometimes I say hello in my mind. How does that make any sense, Doomlink? Well, I might be in the middle of a conversation. One thing that you need to understand with me, and maybe I'm not unique in this regard, but I'll usually have 2 thought processes going on. One is whatever's coming out of my mouth, and the other is whatever's in my mind. And they're basically at equal levels of awareness, if that makes any sense. So I'm equally aware of both lines of thought. And so in my mind, I was like, hello, A-Gaming. But coming out of my mouth, I was in the middle of a conversation. So then I have to think about it and go, did I say that? No, I probably didn't say that. That was probably in my mind. So, yeah. And occasionally the 2 thought processes cross wires, and that's only occasionally though. But it does happen from time to time. Do you need a PC to play for Ultimate Online? you need a PC to play For Ultimate emulated in general, because there's probably no mobile device that would be strong enough to run it. There might be, I would say, gaming-focused ones might, but why you would buy a gaming phone, I've got no fucking idea. Those people need help. They are actually sad people. Oh. But you know, getting a gaming phone is probably better than getting some other handheld device. Although, maybe not. Because let's look at the Switch, for instance. You have all of those great Nintendo games that you wouldn't be able to play on a regular mobile device, so what the hell are you doing getting a regular mobile device? It's very strange. You go into Hunsterverse and you realize that there is actually a huge cross-section of today's world of people who don't own computers but own phones. It's really fucking weird. It's basically the whole of Southeast Asia. The whole of Southeast Asia don't own fucking computers. They own phones because that's their computer. How they can survive, I don't know. What I don't get is that they can afford an expensive phone, but they can't afford a shitty laptop. Because a shitty laptop is all you need to play the PSP Monster Hunter games. Of course, a shitty laptop's not going to get you through For Ultimate, but yeah, no one. It seems that Hunsterverse is just filled with mobile users. The whole of Brazil as well. Most Brazilian players don't have computers, from what I can tell. Yeah, admittedly, I'm not up to date on the gaming phone market. Oh, this quest. The old razzle dazzle. Last time we did this, I think, was on my... I think it was Live Hunts Part 88. That really terrible recording where everything was going wrong. That was rough. Well, time to redeem myself, I guess. Switch axe. Okay. I can live with that. I think. No promises, though. Did I make a blunt switch axe? I think I did, didn't I? What was it? Gigantodasher. The fuck? Let's do this. This could be fun. I'll have to, unfortunately, change the hunter arts for this because this is registered as a longsword set. But check that out. I'll use this just because it's different. Unfortunately, I can't make use of this triple slot. Unless I wanted guard. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get guard. Guard plus. With a switch axe. I could do it, but it would be dumb. It would be really dumb. Okay, so... let's go and add... Trance 3 and Demon Riot 3. Yes, well, that seems to be everyone, gaming. Unfortunately, the experience, the Hunsterverse experience is just terrible because of phone users. It's totally ruined it. There was a time when phone users were less common in Hunsterverse. It was a long time ago, but there was a time, and it was just so much easier because connectivity is just so much better on a computer. It's just what it is, and, you know, I don't even want to get into it really, but it really does. It's like a plague of phone users in Hunsterverse, and it really affects my ability to enjoy the experience of playing online in Hunsterverse. But not all phone users are bad. Some of them have good connectivity, but a lot of them don't. You know, they'll be disappearing from the room because they're checking the Discord, and, you know, checking the Discord is basically them just wanting to communicate, which is, it should be something basic. You should be able to communicate within the Discord without disconnecting from the session and all this. It's just fucking annoying. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. Phone users they should be contained within some closed environment where the rest of us don't get affected. 2 of them? Bloody hell. 2 bots at once. Admittedly, though. Yeah. Yeah, Hunsterverse sent the bots on me. I'd rather that than being bot followed though, provided it's not constant in the chat. Sometimes it's... well, it's never been constant. I've never seen like a constant issue with that. I should have dropped a... yeah, I actually don't have a smoke bomb. I should have dropped one, honestly. It's not too late. It's too late now. But it just would have been easier than having to use the fence switch. I think that's what I did last time I was here. Well, I'll be the one. No, oh god, that was close. Okay, so Vernon worked out that he wanted to be on the side with the Deviljho, which makes sense because otherwise it would have been 3 on Rajang, 1 on Deviljho, which is not what we want. Would I rather fight Deviljho or Rajang? I'd rather fight Deviljho, but I'll take what I can get. Or rather, I'll take what is given to me. It's funny, Mr. Bean and I are both going high raw. Whoops. God, it's a bit different from 2nd gen with Rajang here. His fists don't have such a crazy hitbox. Oh, I'm out of stamina, but fortunately he wasn't on target with me there. Of course, his tremor is a problem. Tremor res is actually very useful with Rajang. Always has been, always will be. Because it allows you to position yourself close to him after a combo without having to deal with the tremor, obviously. He's got 2 main tremor attacks. It's interesting to use this though. I think this is only the 2nd time I've ever used this switch axe. It's cool. I like it. I'm gonna switch back to axe mode. And I can say switch because it's the switch axe. I'm switching using. Speaking of switches, we'll have to wait 20 seconds for the fence switch to be usable again. It's a really gross looking switch axe, isn't it? But I like the fact that ugly weapons that you would never use are now viable thanks to Bludgeoner. I think it's great. It's awesome. Okay, fence switch, let's get ready to go. Come on. Can I do this fast enough? Yes. That was dangerously close there. He was right on the threshold, but fortunately not so far over it that he was pushed over to that side. It was a bit scary. I'd like to get in position for the head, but obviously that's a bit dangerous. So you'll see here that I'm affected by the tremor, which almost resulted in that combo, which would have been awful. Might find the opportunity to reload here, as you can see, quite worthwhile. That's the best time to reload, when you're about to not be given the option to reload. That's the idea. Good break. That's first break on the head, I believe. Or first horn break. Let's use this as a trance/opportunity. I probably won't be able to get the full thing out unless he flinches. And he flinched. Which is pretty cool. Got a double flinch off there. We'll reload again. Oops. Oh well. Yeah, sometimes you're not in a good place in relation to the Rajang when he's doing that attack. I mean, whether or not you can evade his big slamming attacks, the 3 that he does, depends on where you are positioned. If you're at an awkward angle, he'll just get you, because you can't travel enough distance to actually not be hit. I'm a bit out of range there. No! Had a feeling you'd do that. I should have been in position for the fence switch. Oh, nice one, Bean. Thanks for that. That works very well. Well, this has been a very good run with the fence switch. We've been fighting each monster at opposite ends of the arena, so there hasn't been risk of the fence switch not being effective here, so this is really very good. I will use Demon Right here. I will reload and then get ready to use it. I mean, I'm probably not in a good situation here. trying to reload when he's coming after me. Alright. So this demon riot should be lasting a while. Whoa. That was weird. His body was sort of angling down there. I'm like, ha 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 ha, that was a good flinch. I liked that. I'm surprised he's not mountable yet. I've done a few mounting attacks on him. That was probably my 4th successful mounting attack. So I don't know what's going on with that. My guess is that, like KO, it needs to be consistent. Otherwise, the build-up is lost for mounting. I didn't know it was like that, but I guess it is. Oh, whoops. Probably not a good time to be flinched there. There goes the fair. Hopefully we're not too close to Devil Joe there. I'll get in position for the fence switch. Oh, he's a bit too far over the threshold there. I'm not going to risk it. It might be where his back legs are. No, Raja, you dick. Awful. Absolutely awful. What's also frustrating here is that my demon ride is just running out. Mr. Bean is taking the... yeah. He's taking the strategy that I was about to employ, which is... he's probably almost dead, so let's just try to kill him. That's what he did, and that I couldn't even finish that thought before Rajang did die. So that was cool. I will use this as a trance/opportunity. You never know, this might be the killing assault. It seems that the elemental burst with this switch axe actually has an exhaustion effect. I don't have raw resistance. That's so strange. So used to having raw resistance with the switch axe, but this is my blunt set, which doesn't have that. Unfortunately, well, actually, maybe Vernon's using aerial. I don't know if he's using aerial, maybe not. Normally, Sword and Shield would be terrible for Devil Joe, because you can basically only hit the legs. You're not using aerial? Well, there you go. Well. Sword and Shield's no fun with Devil Joe. Not a fan. I would never opt to use that myself. Again, I hate this attack. I'm not a fan of it at all. I almost got hit by it, because the effective range is just ridiculous. Uh-oh. There you go. And that's a dead Devil Joe. Good quest, guys. That was nicely done. Good teamwork. Good fence usage. Clean. Tail cuts are a thing. You have always been able to cut a tail in Monster Hunter Araxian from the very first Monster Hunter game. All I was saying, Vernon, was that Sword and Shield versus Devil Joe is no fun at all. And I asked if you were using aerial because it just so happened to be that the only situation where Sword and Shield would be okay with Devil Joe is if you were going aerial. But yeah, tail cuts are a big thing in old Monster Hunter Araxian because, like anything, well, you'll find in old Monster Hunter, and by old Monster Hunter I'm talking about first gen now, you'll find that there is a crushing difficulty with rare items, and cutting tails is a big thing for increasing your chances. So, Yeah, try to cut tails where you can. And that was Golcran Small Rajang. How far through Monster Hunter Freedom are you, Araxion? What sort of monsters have you hunted so far? Have you had to experience Cephadrome yet? That's enough to traumatize most people. Hunting Cephadrome in first gen is actually traumatic. Unless you've got a lot of sonic bombs, but if you don't, then... If you walk into a Cephadrome hunt without sonic bombs, yeah, you'll be traumatized. Oh yeah, forgot about that. I was going to, but... I do forget these things. Where is... Here we go. You can get a rough idea of when I got Vernon's guild card. Would have been around, probably, April. Or May. Of 2020, that is to say. Should mention the year. Got a fairy tale background there. I didn't watch much fairy tale. I remember that it seemed as if there was a new generation of anime fans in the early 2010s that just absolutely went nuts on fairy tale, and I found it to be very low tier. Because the action scenes were literally just scenes replayed over and over and over again. Which was so low tier. So it's like... It's not just a low-hanging fruit. The fruit is touching the ground at that point. Like, I was just not ready for that. I watched about 30 episodes of the first season and I was like, if every fucking confrontation is going to be the same, like, animation over and over and over again, why am I watching this? Because it's an action anime. I don't have time for this shit. Okay, so weapon usages are... Exio's not pulling any punches on that one. So, we've got Greatsword, Sword and Shield, Charge Blade, Light Bowgun, and Cat. So Cat doesn't count because that's not a weapon type, it's just garbage. So, yeah. I did forget that you were using Greatsword. I haven't seen Charge Blade, and I don't think I've seen you use Charge Blade, but I've seen you use Greatsword. Precisely one Greatsword. About 2 Sword and Shields. And I think 1 Light Bowgun. But admittedly, I'm not super observant. Oh, Guild Khan from Mr. Bean and from... sorry for taking so long, guys. I do sometimes forget that I do have a group of people here. Which means that, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use this loadout again. Oh, God. Should I? Well, no, I'll use something different. Sorry for taking so long, guys. I'm hoping for a weapon that will be appropriate for this particular hunt. Sword and Shield? Okay, I'll go Poison. Unless, let's check what the... As usual. He always has a way of just destroying every plan I've ever had when it comes to status weapons. Okay, well I guess I have to go Paralysis then. That's fine, Paralysis is absolutely not a problem. So, let's do that. What I would encourage any person to do is not watch the fairy tale anime, but instead read the manga. For the reason that the anime, I mean, I know nothing about the story, but Vernon seems to like the story, which would suggest to me that you'd be better off reading it. Because as an action anime, it's bad. Okay. Now, it might have a good story, but if we're going to look at it from the perspective of action-based shonen, it's among the worst. Especially considering the level of popularity that it has. So, because there is nothing worse than having your anime heavily based on action and that sort of engagement, and then having every battle scene be the same animations. Like, it's almost like, let's compare it to a transformation sequence in, like, Mahou Shoujo anime. Imagine that, but that's every fight. Like, instead of seeing the character use this ability from a different angle and with a different animation every time, it's literally like a transformation sequence, effectively, but it's like this particular casting sequence that's done in an animation, and you see it over and over and over again. And I asked a friend of mine who watches a lot of Fairy Tail, I was like, does it continue like this? Like, is this the whole show? And he's like, yeah. The whole show is basically those animations repeated over and over and over again. Now, that's not just phenomenal laziness, because that's exactly what it is. You can't say, oh, well, they're allowed to do that because it's a long show. That excuse works if we pretend that that's the only long-running show that's action-based. That's not true. The reality is that there are many, many shows that are long-running that don't take shortcuts like that. That's not just a shortcut, that's insulting to the audience. So, yeah, if it's a good story, read the manga. Don't bother with the fucking anime, that's absolutely ridiculous. So, that's my opinion on Fairy Tail. And the fan service seems pretty low tier as well, like sort of, we're talking low-hanging fruit with that one as well. My guess is that Groove Adventure Rave is probably better, but I still haven't gotten into that. I've always been meaning to give Groove Adventure Rave a try, but I'm just gonna guess that Fairy Tail's worse. Just gonna guess. Oh. Wait, do I? No, I think I might have raw resistance here, do I? No, I don't. So I did approach that in the correct way. I will sharpen up there. I don't think I got a paralysis through in the end. I might have, but I didn't notice. I was too busy talking. I did get one paralysis, good to know. Exio says that he doesn't like fan service anime. There is such a good thing, or there is such a thing as good fan service and bad fan service. You would definitely categorize Fairy Tail as bad fan service because it's low effort, it's not even well drawn. Like, I don't even want to... No, well, I like the character designs, I like the character art. But in terms of the stuff that they're fan servicing, it's like, okay... Whatever you say. Well, High School DxD is much better fan service than Fairy Tail. Because High School DxD is phenomenally well drawn. Phenomenally well drawn. Absolutely just on the upper tier of character design. I absolutely love the way the faces and the eyes are drawn, and everything is just really nice. Not with the newest season. I didn't watch the newest season because they changed the art style. They went for something a little more generic, which I didn't appreciate. There's paralysis. Use Chaos Oil on the tail. Now, the worst fan service anime I ever watched probably was Seikon no Quesa. That was insanity. That was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever seen. I will never forget Seikon no Quesa. I forced myself to finish it, because I have this terrible thing where if I start an anime, I actually have to finish it. Because I just want to say that I've watched the whole thing, because otherwise, if I haven't watched the whole thing, I don't feel like I can comment on it fully. I feel like I can't give it a full evaluation. Seikon no Quesa, for anyone who isn't familiar with it, and it might be more well-known now because it's such a joke. The very concept of it is so ridiculous that maybe more people are aware of it now. I don't keep up with the modern anime community because I do not. I don't relate to them, basically. But essentially, the story is that the main character gets power by drinking breast milk. Okay? So, as a result, you can imagine that he's got this harem, or harem rather, not haram, that's different. He's got this harem cohort That's it's probably haram as well, but he's got this harem cohort, and he just drinks their breast milk for the whole fucking show, and it's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. There you are, Rathalos. Everyone's getting smacked around. But yeah, I would say Seikon no Quasar is the most ridiculous one that I've ever seen. It's basically like a bunch of guys on the drawing board saying, how far can we go? How ridiculous can this be? I mean, and of course, the thought crossed their mind, how about we have him drink breast milk to gain power? I mean, yeah. But the funny thing is, it's not just him. Like for instance, you would have the antagonists of whatever episode stealing the girls themselves and then drinking their breast milk. It was so stupid. It's like the whole, you know how a card game anime will have everything centered around that card game, like all problems are solved with that card game. The whole world of the show revolves around that card game. Well, the whole world of this show revolved around drinking breast milk to get strong, okay? So that's how bad the show was. It was shocking. Absolutely shocking. But, yeah. And how the hell it got like a 24 episode, 2-core fucking release, I've got no idea. That is just, that's shocking to me, but... Yeah, exactly, Arexion. You can be informed as to how low the world of anime can sink. So yeah, if anyone wants to complain about High School DxD, well, they're welcome to, but it's not as bad as it gets. It's not even close. There are a lot of other really bad ones too. There are a lot of fucking terrible ones. I'd say that the worst written one was probably Kamefer that I watched. That was like a Shoujo Ai fan service show. That was bad. That was really bad. That was fucking like... That one was just so poorly written that I totally switched off to it. Alright. Let's find where this... oh no, is this the Zenogre that we were hunting before? No, the Zenogre is dead. I don't even know where he died. Maybe he's already despawned, that's probably what's happened. I'd better sharpen up. That would be a good idea. There goes AKA. That is a very interesting death message. It's like the ultimate 2020s reaction to something bad. You've got oof, BS, re, which is great. It's gonna age so well. Ugh. You know, I'm reminded of crap that people never say anymore, like woot and pwned and things like that. It's like, imagine if you saw someone say pwned or woot today. But back then, it's exactly as the modern vernacular of today is. It's ubiquitous. There's nothing stupid about it, or there was nothing stupid about it at the time. But you wouldn't be seen dead saying woot in a serious context now, or pwned. So, you know, that's what's going to happen with your modern vernacular. So why are you using it? That's the way I look at things. But anyway. I'm telling you, it was exactly the same back then. It was just normal. It was normal internet vernacular at the time. I don't think I used it. I might have said woot on occasion. I never said pwned. I think I said woot very occasionally. Maybe once. Woot was very American. Woot was an American thing for sure. You wouldn't see other people use that. I probably said it like once or twice. But, yeah. Point is, your modern internet vernacular is... It should be embarrassing now, if it's going to be embarrassing in the future. That's the way I look at it. Just speak English as it should be spoken, that's what I say. But people are welcome to do what they want. Because I do have Chaos Oil here, I like to be aiming for the head as much as I can. Obviously, I've got quite an opportunity to attack the head here. Hopefully I can get a KO off. There you go, there's the KO. Sorry, Mr. Bean, that really messed up your effectiveness there. And there's Tyrex. AKA is kicking the Tigrex. No doubt seeking revenge for his one death. There was one death in this hunt, and it was from AKA. But yeah, I won't be recording for too long today. I'll do about another hour, and that'll do me for sure. Oh, I've got a tail calf here. But yeah, don't expect super long recordings. At least not for a little while. I've just got less free time these days, so... Consequently, it'll be mostly sitting around 2 hours. Yes, indeed, Vernon. There's another Tigrex mantle, that's my 14th. How many of these things do you really think I need, game? How many of these things do you think I need? I've always been quite lucky with Tigrex mantles. I got a lot in Freedom Unite as well. And I don't know why. Maybe not Portable Third. Can't remember if I got many in Portable Third. I probably did though. Tigrex mantles for some reason I've just always never had an issue getting. Which is funny because I just don't make Tigrex weapons. That's probably why I get so lucky with them, is because I don't need them. It's like that always with rare items in Monster Hunter. Verdant Hills Missive. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Insect glaive. I do have a paralysis insect glaive that I can use. I used to have a status insect glaive set that I had to remove because I needed more space. So sadly I don't have that anymore. It was pretty good, but again it's kind of based around having Mounting Master. And I really don't need Mounting Master. I have it with this, but anyway. Can I get any use out of this triple slot? Nope. That's alright. Again, it always feels a bit dirty to not be able to make use of a triple slot. What is Vernon using? Ethereal Cedrus. Cedrus? I don't know. Does that have decent sharpness? Oh, you've got sharpness +2, so it's probably alright, but... yeah, with razor sharp, yeah, you'll be fine. That's pretty good. It just looks like one of those hammers that wouldn't have good sharpness, but he's definitely mitigated that issue. Okay. Again, looking for the same skill as always. feline food skill that is to say, more specifically. Alright. Looks like that's a no. Do I want attack or defense? We'll go attack. Use booster, I guess. You've got purple sharpness, that's cool. In the case of this insect glaive, I'll probably allow myself to drop down to green before sharpening. Because there's almost no white sharpness, so probably just do that. Alright. I've only used this insect glaive a handful of times before. Probably, if I had to put a number on it, I would say 5 times I've used this insect glaive. I just don't find myself using paralysis weapons all that often, and to be honest, well, not just paralysis weapons, but status weapons in general, I just don't use them as much as I use elemental weapons. And I suppose if I'm not wanting to use an elemental weapon, I would typically go for a raw weapon. But status is perfectly fine. I don't have anything against it. I just don't find myself using it quite that often. So we've likely got, well, let's see, I'm saying we've likely got these monsters. Well, I don't even know what monsters they could be. So Najarala is in Area 5, and Garuga is in 11. I guess we've got AKA wanting to go somewhere else. AKA has now pinged for the Najarala. Again, no one seems to bring Psychoserums, I don't know what that's about, but it's something like this hidden secret that there is this weird drink that exists in Monster Hunter that allows you to see the locations of all monsters in the area. Don't know why that seems to be outside of the general knowledge of Monster Hunter players in this era, but seems to be. It's always been a lifesaver of a drink. I'll try to avoid this tail swing here. Now, as far as where white is, I'm going to guess the wing. I was guessing correct. Or correctly. My guess was correct. I was guessing correctly. There you go. English lessons with Doomlink. Fortunately, I do have raw resistance here, which is really what you want with Garuga in any situation. Not so much with the standard Garuga, but definitely with Hyper and Deadeye. Well, in typical Garuga fashion, bouncing off something of his with purple sharpness. That would be about right. You know, some people would say, oh, that's crazy, how could a monster of Garuga's tier have something that's so hard that even purple sharpness couldn't hit through it? Well, that's because Garuga wasn't originally like a tier 2 monster. He became one. He used to be on the level of Fatalis in terms of difficulty. He was probably harder than Fatalis, to be honest. I don't know why. I don't know why in first generation Yian Garuga was deemed to be this ridiculous hunt. You basically had 3 monsters in first generation that fell under the special quest category. Those monsters were Lao Shan Lung, the Fatalis subspecies, and namely Black and Crimson. There was no White until Freedom Unite. And Yian Garuga. Yian Garuga was a special quest. In other words, a purple quest. I don't know if they're really called special quests now, but the fact that they appear as purple quests is still something that you will see today in 4th generation. But, yeah. Still haven't managed a paralysis here. Admittedly, I don't think my paralysis value is too high. I do have Extract Hunter for when I run out of these colours. There you go, there's paralysis number 1. And that's a dead Yian Garuga. AKA is like, I helped! Hey! That works very nicely. That works incredibly nicely. I definitely don't need Yian Garuga Calms because I've killed a lot of Yian Garuga in this game. Mainly because one of the people that I was getting them... Here we go. Juvenator's like, I'm taking a break. 30 minutes later, he's jumping on the game. Well, he didn't say how long he was going to take a break for. Admittedly. Not getting much of a head opportunity there. What I was saying was that one of the friends of mine that I was getting to endgame here in Generations Ultimate, I was having him make the Garuga armor set and the weapon, which was, well, the longsword more specifically. And yeah, that resulted in a lot of Yeon Garuga hunting. And it wasn't too fun. I would very much like to not get caught in that. There seems to be a truck in my street. Consequently, there's a bit of low frequency hum. You know what? Given that I've been able to maintain purple sharpness for so long, I think I will sharpen up once I drop down to... Oh no, I did sharpen, excuse me, I did sharpen before this confrontation. So, I was remembering that wrong. I was thinking I hadn't sharpened at all. It's definitely not true. Juvenator, when you say I forgot to upgrade my weapon, that, I mean, that is the... that means nothing to me. You forgot to upgrade your weapon. What does that mean? What weapon? I don't... that is such a strange, out-of-context comment to make. It's not like you're in this hunt with us, and you're using a weapon that you forgot to upgrade. So... it feels like that was very much out of context, and just kind of an unnecessary comment to make. Thank you for the follow, Blair Fent. Very much appreciated. Okay, is that Garuga still here? No, he's despawned. I don't like monster despawning, I think it's stupid. Or at the very least, I don't like the fact that they despawn so quickly. There are some games where the monsters just don't despawn at all. I don't know... I'm guessing having the corpse in the area slows things down in one way or another, and it's just easier for them to despawn quickly, but what about the games where there is no despawning? Why was it okay in those games? What's the difference here? If it's deemed to be too easy to allow the monsters to stay in the area the whole time, always to be carved, then I don't know. I guess it makes sense for a multi-monster quest like this, because these monsters do need to despawn so that the others can take their place in the locale. But it's not always that way, that a monster must despawn for another one to come. Let's say, for instance, you have killed an invading monster in a quest where that monster is not going to despawn and then allow for another one to spawn. Regardless, that monster will despawn after probably 2 or 3 minutes, which is weird. I'm presuming it's died, of course. I'm not liking the fact that I'm almost out of my extract hunter. Didn't really get to make much use of that. But... What truck is that in my street? That's really annoying. This is not a day when... Oh, no. No, it is actually a... I forgot that it was Wednesday. I'm so out of touch with the days at the moment. Really out of touch with the days. Whoop. So it is actually normal for there to be a truck in the street. Because it's Wednesday. What? Why did you end up with white instead of orange? Seriously. I need to try and get some red off him. If I can. One of the annoying things about having marked a part of the body is that you can't unmark, at least not to my knowledge. Can hope that it will just happen to reach a red part. Sometimes you can send a Kinsect in the direction of a part of the body and then you'll end up getting... That's exactly what No! I just lost it! Shit. I managed to get red, and then I fucked it up. There we go. Alright. I was just about to lose my double colours as well. Brilliant. Alright, now we can charge up Extract Hunter. And annoyingly, he just got his tail cut right when I was trying to do a combo. Now most Thunder monsters do have pretty good paralysis resistance, but I'm going to hope for a paralysis here versus this guy. You can notice that I'm not really bothering with mounts or anything like that, in spite of the fact that I do have Mounting Master. Mounting Master I really only use so that I may... Oh, whoops, someone had already life pounded me. Mounting Master I only really have so that I can get one mount easily. I only bother with a single mount with Insect Glaive in this game because I just don't... I don't bother with multiple mounts. They've nerfed it too hard. They've really nerfed it too hard. Oh, what a terrible time for a flash bomb. Absolutely terrible time. It's not the flash bomber's fault necessarily. I'm sorry, Vernon. I will stay away from that head. Just not used to you going hammer, I must say. I'll use Extract Hunter while he's standing here. There we go. Can we kill him before he leaves? Come on. No. That's unfortunate. I am sharpening up from... Wait. That was a very quick sharpen. It must be because of the SP that I have. No, I don't have SP to give me faster sharpening. Maybe I'm going crazy. That felt like I had speed sharpen or something. But, no. Anyway, what I was going to say is that I'm sharpening more than I was expecting to. Okay. Up we go. That's a dead Astalos, as I can see. And there is one monster to go. Being attacked by a Velociprey. Which is really not what I want. You know, I've got this driver that I use to recognize DualShock 3 controllers on my computer. Just by plugging it in, it's recognized as an Xbox 360 controller, but this thing just constantly checks for updates. Constantly. Every day. And it's a pop-up. It's like, there are no updates available. I'm thinking, well, I don't give a shit. You can do that shit in the background and I don't need to know about it. If there's something to update, just do it in a non-invasive way. It's called SCP Toolkit or something like that. It's SCP driver and it's got a toolkit and it's just, it keeps checking for fucking updates. Maybe it's something I can turn off, but seriously. It's the most invasive shit I've ever seen. Sorry about that low frequency hum. It's like negative 20 dB of low frequency hum that's probably pervading the recording, but I can't do much about it. I'm not going to say that the council's going to stop their garbage collection on account of the fact that I'm recording. That would be a bit over the top. But I will say that it's kind of annoying. Alright, I'm staying away from that head. I'll just attack the damn legs. I'm sure Vernon's got enough on his plate having to deal with those other two hunters attacking the head. One of them being a switch axe user. I don't think the greatsword guy would be too invasive. But as far as the... well, perhaps we'll say disruptive. But I would say the switch axe guy would be pretty terrible. Alright, so that's that hunt. That's a quest that I've probably only done like once or twice. That's Verdun Hill's Missive, this being the second or third time I've done it. So, yeah. Not too difficult, of course, because you do have a certain difficulty set in your mind for the upper tier of G rank, in the sense that you're kind of used to the difficult hunts being hyper hunts. But here, this is just all regular monsters, and they've all got reduced health because it is a multi-monster quest, so really not a difficult quest at all. There's nothing... There should be nothing about seeing 4 monsters in one quest that should intimidate you or make you think there's going to be difficulty ahead. If they're not hyper, then I can tell you right now they'll be dropping like flies, or die very quickly, and they're not going to be dealing hyper monster damage to you, so where's the risk? Vernon's going to yell at them, at our teammates, once we return from the room, or once we return from the quest and enter the room, because they've obviously been flinching him at the head quite a lot. You have to respect the hammer users. You have to. Because at the end of the day, that's how they are effective. It is not appropriate to mess up the hammer user just so that you can do some extra damage on the head. It's just not appropriate for the reason that the hammer can't really be effective anywhere else. So if you're compromising their ability to deal damage, it doesn't even matter if technically, and this is not always the case, but even if technically more damage is dealt because you guys are attacking the head, even at the expense of the experience of the hunter who's using the hammer, that doesn't change the fact that you're fucking with this person's experience in an online situation. They deserve to be able to hunt the monster with their designated weapon and to be able to be effective and to enjoy themselves. You know, it's not the right team outlook to mess with someone. Oh god. You guys frickin' suck. Stay away from the head, is likely what's going to be said. And if Vernon's kicked from the room for saying this, I'll leave with him. Which would serve as a good lesson for them. And they might not even understand that they probably did that unknowingly. You know, people just don't think. They actually don't think. Here's the thing, not everyone's malicious. Some people are actually just ignorant. Mr. Bean says, okay, boss. Which is a funny way to, I guess, belittle someone when you're the one who has transgressed. Alright. So I got Hunting Horn. The monster is Durambro, so I'll get a Fire Hunting Horn. You can see that people are just unobservant. How can you be attacking this is the thing, some people just blindly attack the monster and don't even think about their teammates. That's what I mean when I say it's not necessarily malicious, you know, it's just stupidity, it's incompetence, it's lack of awareness. That's usually what you're dealing with. It's not people who... There are less people who knowingly mess with their teammates that do it, as compared with people who unknowingly mess up their teammates. It's a shame, but unfortunately the result is the same, whether they know about it or not. I shouldn't need to have a voucher for that. Okay. So just confirming this is Hyper Durambros, yes. They should know better, you're absolutely right, Vin. Given their HR, they should know better. Particularly AKA. At Hunter rank 682, second highest Hunter rank of the room. He should know better. I would say that if you've gone... Let's say, for instance, that this is your only Monster Hunter game that you've played. There are plenty of people who play Generations Ultimate, or at least, I guess, prior to Rise coming out, there were plenty of people who were playing Generations Ultimate as their first Monster Hunter game. 300 HRs? Not very impressive. Like, you can get to 300 HRs, or to the HR 300 mark, in like 200 hours? 250 hours? Now 250 hours by other game standards might be a long time, but for Monster Hunter standards, not very long at all. There is a lot to learn. There are a lot of nuances to learn when it comes to Monster Hunter, and as a result, I would say personally that 200 hours of gameplay is not very impressive at all. And the reality is that 300 HRs in a game like this is not... It doesn't really account for anything. But by 600, yeah, you should know what you're doing. There's not much of an excuse at that point, so... That's what I'd say about that. Well, don't be a dick. Just play. And if they keep doing dumb stuff, then... Oh, he's heading down into this area. Took us too long to get here. But this works well, because I don't like fighting him here anyway. That area is too small for a monster of that size, quite frankly. It's quite rare to be fighting Durambros in this area, though. This is one of those areas where I just don't fight monsters all that often. Even in the older games, I just didn't find myself fighting monsters here very much at all. I shouldn't have. Again, I have not... This is insane. It has been like a month of me wanting to check that setting that might allow for songs on my screen to be displayed in the center, as opposed to the left side. Sorry, AKA, if I hit you. And I still haven't checked. I still haven't fucking checked. It's insanity that it has taken me this long. It's because I always fucking forget. I'm gonna get hit. I'm gonna get hit. Can I? No. How annoying is that? Of course, if you fail the encore, you'll lose all the notes, so... annoying as that is. Alright. Yeah, whatever. Fucking trim. Just aiming for the head here. Not for damage, but for KO damage. Now, I suppose I would say KO build-up. It would be appropriate, strictly speaking, to say KO build-up rather than KO damage. You could describe it as damage, but I would say that it would be better to use things like physical damage, or raw damage, elemental damage, and status build-up, KO build-up. Because of how they work mathematically in the game. So, oh god. That did more damage than it really should have. I'll stay here for the damage on the tail. The annoying thing is that you can flinch him out of that position where he's in one place, which I find kind of annoying. Because, of course, he would want to make full use of that opportunity, but unfortunately... can't always do that. Because he'll just get flinched. Try to clear that. Cool. Probably aim for the head just for that KO build-up again. And I'll do Sonic Smash, this will be good for KO build-up too. You can see that last strike does not deal KO damage. But those ones leading up to it should have been pretty good for KO. I did not do Melody Effects Extended, I can try doing that now. Let's see if I've got the order of the notes correct. No, it's the other way. So that means we want to do this. Now, I don't know if that's actually going to help, because... let me do melody effects. Nope. Unfortunately, my attack song had run out. That's what I was hoping. I was hoping that I'd just be able to catch it on the edge of my attack song running out, but my attack song was already... well, it had already run out, unfortunately. Of course, this is Hyper to Rambro, so this is going to be a bit of a long hunt. Not super long, but it will be about a 10-minute affair. Or over 10 minutes. I need to get Euphony off my fucking Hunter art list, I just don't use it. It would be perfectly fine for solo Hunting Horn, okay? If you're going to be a solo Hunting Horn guy, Euphony is great. But for a team, I don't like it. I'm not a fan at all. Alright, so let's go and play that attack song again, that's important. And then I'll play Melody Effects Extended. And then we'll do... well, what I already said. Again, I can't remember the order of this. Okay, that's the correct order. Good to see. And then, sure, we can do Negate Knockback, why not? Yeah, that's some nice damage I'm seeing over there. Uh-oh. I'm at risk of getting hit here. Oh, this is already immune to knockback, so this does not need to be encored. Oh no, excuse me. It negates knockbacks for a longer period of time if you encore that song. See, little things here and there that I'm learning with the songs, because I'm not a frequent Hunting Horn user, and the songs do change in the way that they work across the game, so I just don't use enough Hunting Horn to really have too much knowledge about that, but yeah. Surprised that we haven't gotten a KO yet. But maybe I shouldn't be surprised, because I haven't been totally committed to hitting that head. Not as committed as I should be. He's doing the spin. Alright. God, that was fast. Did you see how fast he did that? That was insanity. Really trying to get at least one KO. I do have Vernon helping me out here with that KO, which is good. Just means that we can keep that KO build up happening. Gonna go for a pound here, possibly at the expense of beans. I'm sorry about that. I'm very sorry. Can I do the encore here? Trying to move towards the legs. Can I do it? Yeah, cool. Someone's trying to do a flash bomb, which is good. Valiant. Certainly valiant of you. I got the timing down for that in Portable Third, but I don't know if I still retain the skill. I felt like it was less observational and more instinctual at that time, so based on that I probably wouldn't be able to do it. If you know what to look for, yeah, sure, but again, it wasn't so much what I was looking at, it was what felt right. Which is why you can more easily lose skill when you go based on instinct. If you learn on an instinctual level, that can be lost. That is a skill that can be lost. But if you're purely observation based, like if you make use of an opportunity that comes based on a particular visual cue, that visual cue might be something you can memorize that you'll never lose. Depends on how you learn. And I'm definitely a visual learner, but I guess it depends on what we're talking about. This KO is just not coming. Have we already had a KO and I never noticed? I don't think we did. I'm pretty sure I've been watching this monster the whole time. We have had a KO. Okay. I don't know when that fucking happened, but I was obviously too busy talking about something else. I'm not noticing. The reason why I don't notice things like KOs is because I'm hunting completely subconsciously a lot of the time. Like if I'm in the middle of a conversation, I am not paying attention to what's going on. That is my subconscious mind 100% playing the game. So, yeah, that's how I miss things like KOs. Like my subconscious mind would have noticed and made use of the KO in whatever way seemed appropriate. But my conscious mind was like, no, I'm having a convo here. Having a good old chat. That's quite a delayed area leave. Remember, he tried to leave the area quite a while ago, but he's only now actually succeeding in his attempts to leave. AKA is pissing you off. What's he doing? What's he using? Gunlands? Oh, sounds about right. Excuse the slurp. He's just an idiot. He's ignorant, he doesn't know how to hunt with the team. He's just not one of those people who actually puts effort into looking to see where his teammates are and looking to see whether what he's doing is going to affect anyone. He's just a mindless hunter, that's what he is. And there are a lot of those people. They don't think about their teammates. You know, this is a team-based game. You need to think about your teammates. It's not appropriate to be just attacking the monster and deciding, oh, I'm doing all this damage, so whatever. If you want to play like that, play solo. Seriously. Vernon has to go somewhere for a brief moment. Apparently. I don't think Duramboros is going to last too much longer. You'd hope not anyway. He's been alive for a while now. Why did his tail look so small from this angle? Are you seeing that? It looks super small. Alright. I have been neglecting my duties to play attack up, so I will properly discharge my obligations as the hunting horn user. Hey, that's a pretty clean knockout there, I like that. God damn it. It is an obligation if you're a hunting horn user as far as I'm concerned. Otherwise you're just not supporting the team properly, because you're not doing much damage on your own. This is the philosophy that I've discussed. It's the fact that attack up large is really important with hunting horn, because you as the hunting horn user are not doing much damage on your own, so you must seek to boost the damage of the team. That's the idea. You make up for what you're lacking in damage by boosting the damage of the other people around you. Because in a team environment, it's all about the overall damage of the team. That is what's going to affect the length of time the hunt will take. So yeah. What the hell is AKA doing? That's probably something to do with the style. The fact that he can shoot so rapidly. There must be a specific style in the game that allows you to do that. I don't know. I don't bother with the styles really, so I'm not too sure. You missed out on your calves unfortunately, Vernon, but they still get your rewards. Here you go, you got the KO'd Duramboros on the screen. You've got all the stars above the reward box there. He's using Valor. Well, Valor Gunlance seems to be a shelling Gunlancer's dream. By the looks of it. Which is a shame, because obviously that messed up Vernon quite a bit. Quite a bit. Okay. Let's see what our next hunt is going to be. We've done a lot of quests with this guy. We've just been blasting through them. You'd hope that he would have access to all of the villager requests that he would unlock for G4 while he's got the opportunity to hunt with a team like this, but he might not have all of his villager requests. It's hard too, because you can't update your villager requests while you're hunting online. It's stupid. Why would they take that functionality away? In 4 Ultimate, you could travel to different areas while remaining in the online session, but in this game you can't. And yet in this game, you're constantly dealing with a villager request system that was even more involved than 4 Ultimate. So what the hell were they thinking, not allowing you to travel from place to place while in the online session here in this game? I've got no frickin' idea. No frickin' idea. It was the same in Generations. You couldn't leave the online hub. Makes no sense. Alright. What weapon are we going to get? Hammer? Okay. Fernand's whipped out the gun lance for revenge. No doubt. Now, hammer with Gamoth is weird. I don't know if I've ever used a hammer with a Gamoth, but we're going to see how this turns out. Would I like to go raw? Let's go raw hammer. Specifically, blunt hammer. Unless... No, it is just raw. This is not a blunt weapon, really. The sharpness isn't amazing, but... No, the sharpness is maxed out, that's fine. I made this thing off camera, you know. About 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Probably about a month ago, yeah. Wouldn't have been 3 weeks ago. Alright. You know what I'm looking for. Come on, baby. Doesn't look like it. Oh, that's right, I'm using the hammer, so I will go for defense up large and defender high, but especially considering that this is a hyper monster. Alright. So my defense is still shit, but not as shit, as you can see. Alright. I do like this set, it's just the defense does leave a little bit to be desired. Alright. There's a turkey on my balcony. It just flew up and it's standing on my balcony right now. Like on the railing. Stupid turkey. Bloody thing. Alright. You see, oh no, this is probably not an especially large Gammoth, he's just an especially large monster, you see. Of course, staying around the head of a Gammoth is a dangerous exercise that I haven't really mastered, I must say. So if I do anything weird, don't be too surprised. I really don't think I've ever hammered a Gammoth before, so I'll do my best, but even though I've never hammered him before, I think I have a reasonable idea of the opportunities that I'll have to hit the head. Oh, it's asleep. God, that's not something that I often see. Alright. Go for that wyvern fire. What? What was that about? I hope you didn't hit him with that shell. Okay, no. I've seen the aerial detonate, like the aerial detonations, but I don't know. With Gunlance, I feel like there's a risk that the wake up would be the shell. Anyway. I would have much preferred a wyvern fire wake up. Oh, fuck off, AKA, you dick! You're an idiot. You're actually a clown. Have some concern for your teammates. He just doesn't care. He doesn't even... It's not in his... thoughts. It's not part of his thought process to look for teammates and to even notice whether he's messing them up or not. It's fucking inconsiderate, honestly. I'm not going to be... Oh no, I'll be able to get the head. There you go. I wasn't going to be able to get the head because he was roaring and his head was going to be too high up, but fortunately that didn't last. I don't even want to support these guys, but... Oh, then again, they're out of the area. This is not going to be a good place for you to drop him, Vern, if the head's facing that way. Well... great. I guess... No, I'm not going to do Spinning Meteor, I'll save it. What a shit show. Of course, AK is running Elemental Attack plus 10, which is not helpful for me, or for Mr. Bean. But whatever. It's the typical Hunting Horn thing where it seems your average Hunting Horn user doesn't seem to be so focused on attack up large as I am. I just see it to be the only real viable skill. Well, there are other viable songs that you can play, but I find that to be the most important. I would say that you wouldn't... sorry, Mr. Bean. I would say that you wouldn't give up attack up large for any other skill. Unless you had a team dynamic that was heavily elemental focused, or elementally focused. And then at that point you'd use element attack up for your song, but we are not an elementally focused team at all. Are we gonna have this head in the fucking wall again? Jesus! Might be able to get in position here. Here we go. I'm missing my golf swing, but some of my hits are getting on target. Fuck! I'm missing most of these. This is awful. I feel like I can do fine hammering this guy, but I feel like the hunt is just working against me. This is awful. I wasn't expecting that. I'll tell you what I wouldn't want to do. I wouldn't want to hammer an Elder Frost. That is something I would not want to do. Not at all. I can live with regular Gammoth, but you don't want to be near the head of an Elder Frost. That's a bad idea. Another sleep. Oh no, thought it was a sleep. Have we even gotten a successful KO yet? I don't think so. I'm pretty fucking sure that we haven't. It's gonna sit. Ugh. This has not been a fun hunt. Not at all. Please give me a KO at some point. I don't really care when, just eventually would be nice. AKA has been, time and time again, completely destroyed by this monster. Alright, we'll go for Spinning Meteor. Not even that could KO the fucking thing. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Is that a KO? Thank you! That took forever. That was insanity. Absolute insanity. Why did you fail to roll there? I pressed the B button to roll. My character's like, no, not doing it, sorry. I know it's risky to do that, but wanted to get that in. Is he limping out? Yeah. Well, that's fairly good. Almost one-zoning a Hyper Gammoth, that's quite good. I've definitely seen worse attempts at that. Who's going for a capture? Well, if you want to throw Tranks, you can. Oh, he didn't throw Tranks. He dropped a trap, but he didn't throw Tranks, which is fine. Alright. That was a fairly good run, except for the fact that AKA was on the edge of dying several times, and was also on the edge of making me want to slit his throat. But aside from that, good hunt, I suppose. I didn't see that Zach checked me out on Twitch. He's like, wow, big streamer. Not really. But that was a while ago. That was like over an hour ago. Oh well. Should have said something in the Twitch chat. I could have had a chat with him. Alrighty. How many more? No, that might be my last hunt, actually. That works out well. We've hit the 2-hour mark, which is what I was aiming for. And, I feel about ready to finish myself. So, that's fine. What I will do is finish up here. Thank you all for watching, and I don't know when I'm going to stream next. Probably not tomorrow. I wouldn't expect that I would stream tomorrow, but likely over the weekend. We will see. I don't really know, but yeah, AKA is an idiot. I don't like that guy. I don't like him either. But yeah, I do thank you all for being here, and I'll see you all when I'm next recording Monster Hunter or anything else that I would record that you'd like to watch. I'll see you all then. Bye bye.